Hello guys, welcome back. So now here we are in withholding tax. So okay. So guys, in previous session, what we have seen exemptions related scenario, right? Exemption in the sense like let's suppose if any particular vendor is having exemption certificate, right? 40%, 30%, 60%, whatever exemption is there. So that exemption percentage is going to be specified at vendor master level. And what is the logic behind specifying the exemption at vendor master level, guys? To avoid creation of multiple tax code. Okay, single tax code itself will be there. Exemption percentage is going to be specified at master data level, and then directly as per that the calculation will happen, and that we have already seen in the previous session. Now let's suppose there is a requirement that TDS will be calculated. I mean to say tax will be calculated, right? So tax will be calculated only if the overall, like let's suppose two things are there here. So say for example, we are having, this is the amount, or this is the amount, right? So on this one, let's suppose 10% TDS. It means 10% tax is going to be calculated. So it is 1000. Okay. How it is getting calculated? For that we have defined tax type and tax code. Now, say for example, if there is a kind of restriction in the sense like tax will be calculated only if like whatever the overall tax amount is there, if it is like equal or greater than 500, if it is either equal or greater than 500, equal I'll just specify here. Generally it should be there should be a different symbol. Okay, but anyway, now so TDS will be calculated, in the sense tax will be calculated only if the overall tax amount is either equal or more than 500. Okay, so in this case tax will be calculated. Whereas if I have any amount like 4,500, here zero TDS is going to be, zero tax will be calculated. Why? Because as per this condition, as per this condition, this invoice, on this invoice we are not supposed to calculate any tax, right? If we have another invoice like let's suppose, even if it is like for 999 also, TDS will not be calculated. In the sense tax will be zero. Here tax amount is zero. Here also tax amount is zero. Why? Because as per these conditions, right? So if it is 5,000, then what is the 10% of 5,000, guys? It is 500. So that is equals, I said equals or more than 500. 4,999 means it is less than 500. No matter whether it is 0.1 rupees itself, it's okay, but still it is this, that is smaller than 500, right? So that is not going to be counted. Now, so it's pretty simple, guys. How it is going to be done, I'll show you. Okay, now I'll have to log in. Let me check it. It's gone. Let me log off from this server. So now somewhere we must have to apply this condition, right? Somewhere we must have to apply this condition. Where it is going to be? So there is an option called, you go to SPRO. There is an option called minimum maximum amount. Okay, one more thing is there. Even in case of maximum also, that will answer you. Let me, better to test one by one. It's pretty simple, guys. Okay, here, minimum and maximum amount. So now this minimum maximum amounts are going to be specified at two different level. Look at here, tax type level and tax code level. So whatever this condition is there, right? So tax type level and tax code level. Say for example, I am having one tax type and under that I am having multiple tax code, right? One tax type, under that I am having multiple tax code. So if I specify here, then what is happening, guys? It is applicable on all tax code which is defined under this tax type, right? Or else, if you specify against this combination, tax type and tax code, then this rule is applicable, this condition is applicable for this particular tax code. Other tax codes are not going to be included. But generally in real time, what is happening, guys, it is preferred to specify these conditions along with the tax type and tax code against that combinations only. Okay, so here, okay, so execute this one, give your country code and new entry. Okay, what was our tax type and tax code, guys? The tax type and tax code, which one I have defined? Anybody is able to remember whether it is TM or T0 or
T1, T1.
T1? T1. Okay, so T1 and T1. I think T1 or TM, guys. Okay, let me check in vendor master.
T1, T1 only,
T1.
sir.
Okay. In which server I have set up the details? In this server, first server or second server?
Second one, I think, sir.
Second one. I also think so. So let me come out. It's T1 itself. So let me go do the configurations first. SPR. Now, Here it is. So give you the country code, new entry, and T1, and tax code also T1. Give your currency. Start date, you can give a start date here. We are going to specify the beginning of that particular financial year. Okay. So here we are going to specify the minimum amount. You save it. Here we have to specify the minimum amount. Now what will happen, guys? There is one more thing which you have to do. Before testing this, you must have to remove this exemption percentage. Okay, and save it. Whether remaining thing is there or not doesn't matter, right? Because percentage itself we have removed, then it's 0%, right? Now, because there will be some confusion in terms of calculations, right? We have given the minimum amount also. At the same time, exemption value is also given, right? So there will be some differences in case of calculations. So now here, guys, if I like, let's suppose 3,000. There is a real amount 3,000, right? So what about on this amount, guys? TDS supposed to be calculated or not? Yes, no, yes, no. There is no response. Okay, only 3 response I have received. So now click on simulate. Not getting calculated. The condition I have already explained here. Condition I explained here that if the overall TDS will be calculated only, TDS is going to be deducted only if the overall tax amount is equal or more than 500 rupees, right? Our tax percentage is 10%, right? As per 10%, what is happening here, guys? The base amount for tax calculation is 3,000 only, in the sense that invoice amount is 3,000. On that, 10% tax, how much? 300, right? And 300 is smaller than 500, so that is why system is not going to, SAP is not going to calculate the TDS. Even as I said, if you give like 4,000, okay, this much also if you are going to give, right? So this is close to 5,000, right? It means like if you talk about the TDS, so how much it is going to be, guys? It is going to be less than 500, right? Now, but even if the amount is 5,001 rupees also, system will calculate. Let me give you 5,001 so that at least you can check that yes, our condition itself is working, or sometime what happened, guys, conditions we have given, we check like it is not working, system is not able to calculate the tax and all, but later on maybe some configuration mistake or something is there. So if that condition is working, then on this amount tax supposed to be calculated. On this one also not getting calculated, guys. It may be our condition is not working, right? It's maybe some configurational mistake, isn't it? Why it is not working? Can we make it like 9,000? Nothing is happening. Why? Any problem, guys? So here everything is fine, right? I think we have to do one thing, guys. T1, T1. Let me remove this entire things. Okay, and then here T1 and T1, and then save it. Percentage we have removed. I think we are supposed to remove even other informations also. Then only system should consider. So let me check right now. 9,000. Press enter. Now it is fine if I simulate. Oh my god, still it is not getting calculated, guys. Now where is the problem? Lakshman is saying greater than 5,000. Have I given the conditions? No, it is 500 only, guys, right? Minimum withholding tax amount is 500. T1 and T1, everything is fine. Yes, 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 yes. It is 500 only. Even if I remove also, then also let me check. Still it is not getting calculated. But earlier it was getting calculated, right? What could be the possible reason, guys? Can anyone suggest? Or we'll have to check the configurations once again. Let me check it, guys.
Sir, Venus
Yeah,
this side.
yeah, we have.
Sir, might be exemption which we have done yesterday, day before yesterday. It may affect this thing.
No, exemptions I have already deleted here, no? Master data. Master
Okay.
data. Exemptions I have already deleted. Company code is correct, right? TM33 itself is your company code, I guess, right? And everything is fine. Now, so where is the problem? Come back. Tax type. Let me check tax type is there or manipulation is there in that. E oh my god. My tax type is not there. Hey, T1 is not there. What about my tax code? Someone has deleted. T1 and T1. It is there. This here the combination is there, but the tax type system is unable to read out. It means someone has deleted the tax type itself. So what I have to do, guys, inventory, create a tax type, save it. Tax type already defined, but where is this? Now it is defined. give any amount, guys. Now let me check the reaction of SAP system. So now it is working fine, right? 900. Then I'll come back. We'll come back on minimum, maximum amount. So guys, see, I said like here. So if I tested only on 3,004,999, which is less than 5,000, right? So if I tested there only and if I left, then I would have not come to know that some problem is there. So always when you post, whenever you perform testing, guys, so you have to like, mine is like tax amount must be either equal or greater than 500. So this is possible only if the invoice amount is minimum 5,000, right? So even if the invoice amount is less than 500, like even 1 rupees or 1 paisa less also, system will not accept that. So smaller amount, we have to perform testing for smaller amount also and larger amount also. Oh, have I given the restriction here? Against this one. Save it. Okay. Once again FB60 because changes we have made just now. Okay. We'll test this one. No tax. If it is more than 5,000, then let me test now. Now it is going to be calculated. Okay. Look at here. 500.1. Right. Same condition can be specified in a different way also. Same condition means, guys, either tax amount or else even we can say that like minimum tax will be calculated only if the tax will be calculated only if the minimum tax amount is 500, or else people will say that tax will be calculated only if the base amount is equal or more than 5,000. So both are giving the same meaning, right? Both are giving the same meaning. So now, okay, just give me a second. Okay, so what I said, okay, so now in this case, simply we are going to specify here itself. You can remove this one and we can specify the base amount here, 5,000. Okay, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, whatever you want can be specified. So even if you give this base amount also, the same condition is going to be applied, right? Either tax amount or base amount, both are same. Base amount means if the total overall invoice amount is 6,000 rupees, worth of 6,000, then TDS will be calculated. If it is less than 5,000, in the sense equal or more than 5,000, then the tax is going to be calculated. If it is less than 5,000, then tax will not be calculated. So that is what we have specified. Even if you want to test this one also easily, you can test it, guys. Let's suppose even if you keep 5,000 also, system is going to calculate. For 5,000 also system will calculate. I said equal or more than 5,000, right? If it is even 1 rupees, if the amount is smaller, I mean to say 4,999, then it is not going to be calculated, right? It is not getting calculated. So both are same thing here. Whether it's specify minimum tax amount, minimum base amount, right? If tax and base amount is different, guys, generally it doesn't happen. But sometimes, because I've seen in the previous classes, people will say, what will happen if I specify a minimum tax amount, let's suppose 400, and here the base amount I'm going to specify 5,000, right? In that case, which one is going to be considered by system? Here you can check it practically. Generally, such kind of scenario will not be there, guys, because how come it possible that the base amount we are going to give different and tax amount we are going to give different, right? But still, even that is also, I think that's okay. I'll just keep 5,000. I'll just do one thing, not 5,000, keep 4,500. Okay, it means what is happening, guys? Which one is, now you tell me, in this case, which one is being considered? Tax amount or base amount? Which condition is being considered? Anyone? Base
Sir,
amount is getting
which
considered,
which
right?
one is larger? That only consider, sir.
Which one is?
Larger amount.
Okay. So the base one is the larger one, right? Look at here, this one. So guys, now let's suppose in SAP generally what happened, guys? See, if you talk about, okay, now I'll just do one thing. I'll make it 600 now, and then save it. Then let me check it. So 5,500, right? I'll just post an invoice worth of 5,500.
Mm.
5,500. Now simulate. No calculation. Okay. So tax or base, whichever is the larger one, bigger one, right? That is going to be considered by system. Okay. So look at here, guys. The taxes means always the bigger amount is going to be considered. Now, okay, this is all about the minimum, right? Even in case of maximum also, you'll be having, like, let's suppose if the overall tax amount is 1 lakh, right? If the overall tax amount is 1 lakh, so this is the maximum limit, right? If the tax amount is 1 lakh, then what is happening, guys? It means like till 1 lakh worth of tax is going to be deducted, right? If the tax amount is going to beyond 1 lakh, then what will happen, guys? The system will not accept that, right? In the sense like system is not going to deduct the tax will not be calculated. I mean to say, I'll tell you, instead of 1 lakh, just make it 10,000. Okay. So if you post an invoice worth of 1 lakh, so 10K TDS is going to be deducted. If it is 5 lakhs, then also 10K only is going to be deducted. Even if it is 10 lakhs also, then also the maximum amount we have already specified that the maximum TDS is going to be, maximum tax is going to be deducted this much only, irrespective of your base amount, no matter whatever base amount is there. So if that is the case, then what is happening? Here we are having, see, whatever conditions I'm explaining, guys, it doesn't mean that only these conditions are applicable only here in India or it's like Asian countries and all, even other countries also. Now this maximum amount limit, if you talk about, it was there where I think might be in Finland or Sweden somewhere. This kind of requirement we received earlier. So maximum amount limit we can specify here. Maximum amount how much? 10,000. Okay, 10,000. Maximum tax amount is 10,000. Now, so here, so 10,000 means if you post an invoice worth of, so for this one also system is going to deduct 10K only. Look at here, why? Because we have applied our restrictions. We have given our restrictions, right? Because of that, it is going to calculate 10K. Now, so this is how we, okay, one more thing is there, guys. Now, what about this? Like, we have minimum tax amount or else base amount. So anyone can be specified. Either you specify tax amount or base amount. But in case of maximum tax amount is given, but maximum base amount is not given. Why it is not given, guys? What could be the possible logic?
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, according to me, as we have specified maximum tax amount, in that case, whatever, if we exceed a limit of amount, base amount also, still we are having the same tax value. I think that's why.
No, I couldn't understand what you're trying to say.
Sir, जैसे as you have explained earlier, whether we are giving 1 lakh, 5 lakh, any amount, but still, as we have mentioned, 10,000 as a tax amount, so minimum tax will be deducted at every level. That's why there is no limit for the base amount.
Still, I couldn't understand. Any other explanations, guys? See, I'll tell you. Generally, what happened, guys? So, if you talk about the digits which we are going to specify, it is having certain length, right? it is having certain length. So let's suppose for minimum, of course, there will be a limits. Minimum is it's like minimum tax amount is going to be like minimum tax is going to be deducted only if the TDS if the tax amount is 500, 1000, 5000, 10,000, right? Like that only conditions will be there. For maximum, what is happening? Let's suppose I said the maximum TDS is going to be deducted if the okay. So let's suppose if the tax amount is 1 million. 1 million means right. So if the tax amount is 1 million, right? So now here, what is happening guys? Then what about this is the tax amount? What is the base amount, guys? Then the base amount is larger than this tax amount. If tax amount itself, if you say one instead of 1 million, now you are going to say 1 billion, right? Then the base amount is going to be larger than that tax amount, right? So there is certain so for every field there is a length, right? So if you are going to specify the tax amount, base amount will be always larger than that amount, right? So here this one only tax amount itself is given, base amount is not given because base amount is not possible to specify. If the tax amount itself somebody says that my maximum tax amount limit is 1 billion, multiply 100. So that much length itself, if it is not available, then how we are going to specify? So that is why in case of maximum, what is happening guys, a maximum limit of tax amount only is going to be specified. Base amount they have not given. Now there is one option. What is the logic behind this one, guys? The last field. Can anybody explain what is the logic behind this? Any idea?
If you mention the amount in that field means it accepts in the invoice amount, sir.
If we specify the amount in this field, then
Uh, from the base amount, it will minus, sir, and then we calculate from that amount only.
yeah. So it's pretty simple, guys. Look at here. It is already written here, right? Withholding tax, base exemption amount, right? So here you just remove these all. Save it. Base exemption amount. Base exemption amount means what? The same similar condition is there. Little bit changes are there. In case of conditions, little bit changes are there. Here, let's suppose invoice worth of okay 5 lakh worth of invoice we have received, right? So 10% TDS supposed to be deducted, guys. 10% TDS supposed to be deducted. In the sense, 10% tax supposed to be deducted. 10% tax. So how much, guys? It is going to be 50K, right? But here, let's suppose I have specified base exemption amount. Base exemption amount means I have specified, let's suppose, 10K. Save it. Okay. So 10K means what, guys? Now, so here, first of all, from this 50,000, 10,000 is going to be reduced. Okay. See, for tax calculations, this value is called base value, right? So base exemption amount I have specified 10,000. It means whatever the base value is there from that, 10,000 is going to be minus. And that on remaining amount, what is happening, guys? 10% TDS is going to be calculated, so it will be 40K. This is the logic. Base exemption means if you are going to give any condition over there, Yeah, somebody.
49K, sir.
It is 49K, right?
49.
Okay, it's like how much it is, guys? Okay, yeah,
4,90,000.
4,90,000. So it is going to be 49K, right? So I'll just do one thing. I made it 1 lakh. Now this is going to be, then it is going to be 40K, right? So base exemption means now. So what is the difference between these two, guys? If I said here 1 lakh, right, and minimum base amount is also 1 lakh itself, then what is the difference between these two? The difference is pretty simple, guys. The difference minimum base amount, right? So here, if let's suppose condition number 1, minimum base amount, right? Minimum. These all are mathematical calculations. Okay. So if the invoice amount, if we have received an invoice worth of 2 lakh, so on that, what is happening, guys? Minimum base amount, if I have specified, let's suppose 1 lakh. Okay. So if the invoice is equal or more than 1 lakh, then tax is going to be calculated. So on 2 lakh, how much tax, guys? 10%, so 20,000 tax will be calculated, right? At the same time, instead of this one, if we are having like, let's suppose you keep, now this one I'm going to keep here. Instead of this one, if I say like base exemption amount, okay, so if the same 1 lakh is going to be specified under base exemption amount, then what will happen, guys? Same invoice is there worth of 2 lakh. So from 2 lakh, system is going to deduct 1 lakh, and whatever remaining amount is there on that TDS is going to be calculated. So it will be only 10,000 tax is going to be deducted, right? This is what the difference. Minimum base amount and base exemption amount. So minimum base amount means what you have to say, that if whatever the overall invoice amount is there, if it is crossing the base amount, then system will calculate the full tax, complete tax, right? If you talk about base exemption amount, then what will happen, guys? In that case, whatever invoice amount is there, first of all, system is going to reduce the exemption amount, and on remaining amount, what is happening, guys? Tax is going to be calculated. Hope it is quite clear. Whatever example I'm quoting, it is a very simple mathematical calculation is there, right? Okay. Now let's suppose, guys, there is a requirement. Okay. Now we'll talk about a different condition. This is a very simple conditions, guys, right? Now we'll talk about bit complex conditions. Like let's suppose, okay, there is a requirement that till 10K no TDS. Okay, from 10K till 20K, let's suppose 10% tax, and from 20K, not 20K, guys, 20,001 rupees you can say. Okay, I'm writing here 20K to, let's suppose 30K, 20% tax will be there. Okay, and more than 30K, guys, let's suppose 30% tax supposed to be calculated. So look at here, guys, how many percentage? Total 4% is there. One is 0, second one is 10%, 20%, 30%. Okay. So in this case, how many tax code do we need to set up, guys? How many tax code do we need to set up? One, two, three, four, five, six.
3, sir.
3. Okay. If you set up 3 tax code, what about the 0? How it is getting calculated?
Sir, we can show this 10,000 K less than 10,000 0 in minimum and more than 30 maximum in one condition, and rest 2 in between 10 to 20 and 20 to 30 in rest 2 conditions. So according to me, there will be 3 different tax limits.
So that is absolutely wrong. Any other answer, guys, from anybody?
So creating tax code is not possible, sir, for this condition.
Tax code is not possible. Then what to do then? Without having tax code, how the
In
calculation
form,
is going to happen?
yes, sir. In form option we have, sir. There we can configure this conditions.
Form option. You're talking about where? Like tax code is not supposed to be defined, right? Tax code itself is going to be defined, guys, but here certain different condition is there. Okay.
In one condition we can define this or
Only in one, what to say, that is called, like, this is called here. So this is formula based calculations. Okay. This is called formula based calculations. So what we have to do, Venus, at least I was not expecting this answer because I have already learned this, right? So you're supposed to answer. Anyway, now, and even there was answer from Fahad also, that is also wrong here. You said 4 tax codes. No, 4 tax codes, it's not 4 tax code, not 3 tax code. Single tax code itself is going to be, created, but this is going to be a formula based. So how it is going to be, that I'll explain in next session, guys. Okay, pretty simple. See, the calculation is pretty simple, but first of all, I'll explain like how the calculations are going to happen. So we'll see the calculations, and same calculations supposed to happen here in SAP also, right? So how it is going to happen, that I'll show you in next session.